Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and this is my Dark Magician / Dark Magician Girl deck. First off, I would say this deck is more of a fun style deck and not very competitive. There are a couple different things you could do to the deck to make it more competitive, but this is more of a version where it has both Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl. So you can kind of have both of them in here and have a lot of fun playing here. So without further ado, let's get down to it. Alright, first off, of course, 3 Dark Magicians, the OG monster, I guess. Yugi's favorite monster. Of course, you can run at 3. I run 2 Dark Magician Girls. I used to run at 3, but even in this version, it was a little cloggy. Yeah, just like Dark Magician Girl, and I have her in here because it's also a Dark Magician Girl deck. Next up, 3 Apprentice Illusion Magician. She's basically kind of like a magician's hand trap, and she does overall very well. She's basically what Dark Magician Girl's effect should have been originally. So she's overall just very good and a must-have in the deck at 3. 3 Magician's Rod, basically your main searcher of the deck. I would not run him at any less than 3. Next up, I run 1 Keeper of Dragon Magic. Honestly, I would bump this up to 2 or 3. At the moment, I only have the 1. But if you want to keep it at 1, you don't have to have it at 3. This is just a separate win condition that you have for the deck. Next up, for the Magician Girls, 3 Chocolate Magician Girls. I think she's the best Magician Girl. She's basically helps you draw and get more monsters in the field. I would not run her at anything less than 3. She's an amazing card. Next up, I run 2 Kiwi Magician Girl. Basically another magician's hand trap. She's not a free normal summon, but she is actually very good, so run her at 2. It is one card you could bump down to 1 to switch different things out. I will say I don't run Secret Village of the Spellcasters in this deck, but I would like to. So if you have them, go ahead and throw those in. There's also 2 Magician cards that I would like to throw in that I don't have at the moment. I believe they called Dark Illusion Magician or something like that. They just came out not too long ago. Very good cards, and I would love to throw them in here once I get them. Next up, 2 Lemon Magician Girls. She's not the greatest, but she's definitely not the worst. You could bump her down to 1 if you wanted, but I run at 2. That's what I find to help me out. 1 Apple Magician Girl. I might bump her up to 2. I'm not sure yet. She's pretty good, pretty powerful. Her effect usually works pretty well. But for now, I just have her at 1. Next up is Berry Magician Girl. Honestly, I would bump this up to 3. But it works at 1 for me right now. And keeps more space open. So if you want to have a more competitive deck, I guess keep this at 1 and put in more meta relevant cards. Next up, I do run 2 Mana Dragon Zertnatron, I think is how you say it. Basically, if your spell cards get destroyed, you get a free 2200 beater on the field. So yeah, just have him out here as a backup in case your spells do get broken. That's it for the monster lineup. Like I said, the only additions would be maybe swapping out some of the ratios and adding in the Dark Illusion Magicians. Next up, I run 3 Dark Magic Circle. This is the heart and soul of the deck. You must run this at 3, absolutely. It's a wonderful, wonderful card. Basically, every time a Dark Magician is banished, summoned, it lets you banish a opponent's card. And once it's activated, you also get to dig through your deck. Basically, I believe it's the top 3, and you get to keep 1 that specifically mentions Dark Magician in its name or effect. So yeah, don't run this at any less than 3. I do run 2, the Eye of Timaeus. I used to run this at 3, but decided 2 was better to make more room, and it's also just another win condition for the deck. 2 Polys for Keeper of Dragon Magic, and because this is another way to bring out your fusions, because this is a very fun fusion-heavy deck. 1 Dark Magic Veil. This is one of those cards that if you wanted to cut for the field spell, you could. But I just feel like in a pinch, this gives you any access to whatever magician you need at the time. So I just have it in here for that. Like let's say your opponent has a full field and somehow they broke your board and you need to bring something out. You can just pop this off and instantly have a Dark Magician on your field for only the cost of 1,000 life points. This card is best used in the very beginning of the game, or the match, I guess. Like for each duel, basically. It's best used then, so you have the most amount of life points, and you can get a 2,500 beat stick, or, you know, Chocolate Magician Girl, Apple Magician Girl, whatever you need. If you have all your Dark Magicians in the grave, and you know you still have a Dark Magician Girl in your deck, you can bring her out. She'll be up to like 2,600, or 2,900, I forget what it would be with all 3. But yeah, basically it's an extra monster in the field in a pinch when you need it. I don't see too many people running that card. I don't know why. I think it's pretty useful. 1 Dark Magic Attack. Basically, it's a MST for your entire field when you have a Dark Magician. So basically, if they have a back row heavy field, Dark Magic Veil for a Dark Magician, and then Dark Magic Attack, just blow up their backfield. Their back row, I'm sorry. I do run 1 Dark Magic Expanded just for its separate effects. They can be fairly useful, so I do run it at the 1. 1 Dark Magic Inheritance. Basically gives you access to spell cards that you need that enlist Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl in them, which is basically every single spell and trap card in the deck, besides Monster Reborn and Polymerization, at the cost of 2 spell cards that are in your grave. And you've already used spell cards, so you can't get them back through this build, so it's best to just banish them and get a new spell card from your deck. So yeah, I would definitely run this at least once, 1 copy, no matter what variant of this deck you play. 1 Monster Reborn because it's a staple. And that's it for the spells. I also don't run hand traps in this deck because I feel like this deck needs as much help and consistency as it can. But I do suggest possibly running some because you want to protect your spell and traps as much as possible because they are what gets your deck moving. It's, like I said, it's more or less your spell cards that get this deck moving instead of the monsters. So you want to try and protect them at all costs, especially this next one for the first of the traps. 3 Eternal Souls. Basically, once per turn, you can special summon a Dark Magician from your deck or field, or add a Dark Magic Attack or 1,000 Knives to the deck. But if he's removed from the field, I believe it destroys all of your monsters in the field or something like that. Yeah, basically if Eternal Soul gets destroyed, it self-destructs the entire field. But if you keep it on the field, it is completely amazing and is one of the best cards in the deck. Next up, 3 Magician Navigation. It's basically another extender for the deck and lets you summon a Dark Magician or a Dark Magician Girl. Basically, special summon a Dark Magician from your hand and special summon a level 7 or lower Dark Spellcaster from your deck. Also, another card I would run in this deck, I wanted to run was Sorcerer of Dark Magic from the original Yu-Gi-Oh movie with Blue Eye Shining Dragon and all of them. but that card's extremely cloggy and extremely situational, even though it is a very powerful card if you do get it out. If you want to have more fun and think you can get it out, I would say go for it, but this deck had enough trouble with consistency and getting a full board as is, so I decided to cut it. There is one more trap card that I run in the deck in the form of Magician's Defense. And this is basically, like I said, a defense card. Protect your life points, protect your monsters. You don't have to run it, I just run it at 1. Yeah, that's it for the main deck. You can run it completely as is, or just use this as a basis for what a Dark Magician deck could look like. But next up, after the main deck, is the extra deck, which is very fusion heavy. I used to run Tomahawk in this deck until it was banned. So I tried to fix it a little bit. The only cards I'm missing for it are Red Eyes Dark Flare Dragon, or Red Eyes Darkness Metal Flare Dragon, I think it is. The Red Eyes Exceed Monster, and the Magician Exceed Monsters I would like to put in this deck, as well as number 11 Big Eye. Those are the cards I am missing. And there's a couple cards you can easily switch out. I do run 3 Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. You could even cut out 1 or 2 of these. I would suggest only cutting out 1 if you were to cut these out, because this is like the main monster that I always go for in the deck. He protects your spell and trap cards, and he's a 3000 beat stick. I absolutely love his artwork. It's one of my favorite card artworks. But yeah, I run at 3. And I'm not going to be cutting it. I'm going to cut other cards for the Exceed Monsters. I run 1 Amulet Dragon. I don't really go into this too much. But he is another 2900 beat stick. And if he's destroyed, he gives you an extra summon. I don't go, like I said, I don't go into him a whole lot. But he is a good card nonetheless. And I would run at least 1. If you do decide to run Dark Magician Girl and the Magician Girl engines, I run 1 Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight, a 2600 beat stick. I really never go for this unless I absolutely have to. Basically, it's a 2600 beater that can pop something, and that's about it. I run 1 Dark Paladin because it's Dark Paladin, and in case you run into any Guard Dragon decks, stuff like that, 2900 beat stick. And he can also come off of your Dragon Fusions to become a little bit stronger. 1 last fusion, 1 Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, because it's Vortex Dragon, it's a very good card. And for Exceeds, I run Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, going to him with your Dark Magicians. And basically, if he's removed from the field, that's how you bring out your Vortex Dragon. So you have a 28 and another 2500 beater. Yeah, Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon's just a great card, and I would definitely recommend running this card in the extra deck. I do run 1 more Exceed Monster, never go into it. This is definitely a card I would take out. Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, it's just there for power, and if you absolutely have to go into him to run something over, that's why he is here, but he will be removed. 1 Link Spider, also removed for the Exceeds or for different Link monsters. Yeah, it's just to get your Link started. You can use a Dark Magician, go into him, and then go from there. This next card is one I go into more often. Land Ferinchus, however you say that. Just 2 monsters going in, and then you can start going into your Links. Summon Sorceress, 2 monsters of the same type. The entire deck is dark. Some of the Magician Girls might be something different. But literally, basically, the entire deck is 1 type. So she's very easy to go into with this deck. 1 Underclock Taker, to get your Link started for its effect. one Wii Witch's Apprentice. The entire deck is dark, like I said, so she can power everything up. And if this card is destroyed, you get to add a monster from your, a dark monster from your graveyard into your hand, and then go from there. And then one lovely Decode Talker. This is a good card for this deck. It's better than you think. Basically, he gains attack and become a very powerful beater. But yeah, that's it for the extra deck. You don't have to use this deck exactly to a T. Just kind of, use as a basis. Honestly, you get Wii Witch's Apprentice out on the field, along with Odd Eyes Absolute and Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. You'll basically most likely win the duel. But yeah, thanks for watching my video. Thanks for supporting me. If you liked what you saw, check out my other videos. Maybe you'll like them better. My most popular video at the moment is the Chaos Dragons deck. I do have a couple other videos up. I'm very money tight, so my decks are extremely budget. The Chaos Dragon deck has the most money put into it because it is, I've had it since the 2012 format, and I've been working on it since. So that's why a lot of cards are missing, because I'm trying to get all the deck cards together, but I want to get people the deck profile so they can at least get an idea and know what I wanted to go with the deck and which direction I am headed with the deck. The next deck I am working on, my next video will hopefully be a Salamangreat deck profile. I'm very close to finishing it. Other than that, my favorite deck that I'm currently working on making is a Chaos Thunder Dragon deck or a Pure Thunder Dragon deck. I am unsure yet. I just see a lot of potential still with Thunder Dragons, even though Gold Sark was hit on the ban list. But nonetheless, I'm still going to pursue the deck, and I think it has a lot of potential and a lot of power. To me, it basically seems like a Chaos deck that you can control what is in your graveyard. Sorry, I know this has nothing to do with this deck. I just want you guys to know where I'm trying to head out with the channel, and what, cards and decks I'm trying to get a hold of to make them better and make better content for you. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you use this video to help you make your own deck, and hopefully you can improve on it and make a very powerful Dark Magician deck. So thanks, enjoy, and hopefully you stay tuned to watch next week's episode. I try to upload once a week. I do run a little bit late sometimes. I am sorry. Hopefully I'm able to get more clearance on my schedule and get more videos to you guys. But yeah, like I said, thanks for your support, and I really appreciate everyone who watches my videos and subscribes and just helps the channel build. Thanks, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.